Hello, I'm Henry Chavez. I'm a reporter for BTV, Bailey Middle School's TV network, where your news is one click away. Here's where we'll be reporting the news about what's happening at Bailey Middle School and how we can stay updated with our Buccaneers family. Let's dive into some of the top news stories of this week.
So I come from a family of educators, and I always said that I didn't want to be a teacher. But when I first graduated, I always knew I wanted to be an educator. I just didn't think in a public school setting. I've always wanted to be the person to, my whole purpose was like, okay, I want to inform those that are without information. I want to be the plug. I want to be that person that, I don't know, reach the next person to put them in a better position in life. In one of my first jobs out of college, we used to go volunteer at a local elementary to read to them. And I had a second job in the evening where I worked with adjudicated youth. And what I found working with the adjudicated youth was that they had like gaps, and it seemed around 4th grade. And so that kind of pushed me as well, again, to be the plug for those who were missing something, needing something. So that, I would say, has been my inspiration.
So what inspired me to go into education for my career? Well, first, my parents are both teachers. My father was a principal. My mother started out as a history teacher, then she moved up to a counselor position. I also have siblings that are in the field of education, so I just followed in their footsteps.
I'm gonna be honest, coaching was the one thing that got me into education. My coaches had a deep impact on me growing up. My dad was my coach. I had some high school coaches that were great, and the coaches ended up being my German teacher in high school. And so seeing how they impacted students, and they still had an impact on my life, and I still keep in contact with them to this day, made me want to go into coaching and teaching and impacting kids' lives that way.
I've always had a love for kids, and that ranges from all ages, from elementary to high school. I've done all. And the interest had to be particularly with special need kids. I've always been in an AD program or a special needs program, and just getting those kids the abilities and the functions with assistance from me has been great. It's amazing when they finally get what you're trying to teach them and what they're grasping about their education.
So I started my teaching career in Klein, and I'm here at Spring ISD. Now, being at Spring ISD, it has allowed and expanded my knowledge of being able to even be more effective in helping students out. I always am a strong believer that kids are kids no matter where you are. They will react the exact same way. It all just depends how you treat them. So, and to answer that question, how has Spring ISD helped me become a better educator? It has given me a lot of the tools that I am using now to be able to be more effective as administrator to you guys as students.
It's blossomed. I mean, I've been in Spring for 16 years. I've been at Bailey for 13 years. I've met my wife in Spring. I've met people and built relationships with my colleagues that I still have to this day, that were in my wedding. It's the people in Spring that have made me stay in Spring. And Spring's just, it's who I am. I've been here forever, so I'll probably die here, so I'll be here forever.
Being in Spring ISD, I have definitely learned to be able to be nimble. I've been through a couple of administration changes at the top level, and all coming in with a different vision. So being nimble is something that being an employee in Spring ISD has taught me. And definitely the common thread is making sure that whatever we do, we make decisions that are best for students.
Bailey Middle School is a family. We love Bailey. We love coming to work every day. We love our family atmosphere, our camaraderie with our teachers and our students. We love Bailey.
The staff, honestly, I would have to start with Ms. Brown. Her morale that she creates and the culture on this campus is phenomenal. So I really appreciate the fact of the matter that I get to come to work every day and people are genuinely and authentic nice.
Stay positive and be flexible, and if something doesn't work, find a new way to do it. That's it. Like, if you can't find an alternative, then you're just gonna flounder and you're just gonna suffer. But if the internet goes down, like it's happened to me when I was teaching at home, the internet goes down for some reason, and I just hop on my phone and I'm doing class on my phone. I was walking around my backyard teaching safety when we were still at home. You just find an alternative and just make the best of the situation. And you just say, it is what it is, and you just suck it up and keep moving on. That's it.
My advice to students and faculty this school year is stay flexible, be open to changes, react to the changes in a positive manner. And for the students, the same thing, and consider this and take this still seriously, because at the end of the day, whether there's COVID virus or not, you still are gonna need your education from this point on forward. So 10 years down the road, nobody's gonna ask you why you didn't learn. Is it because of COVID? Nobody's gonna ask you how come you're not prepared for your job. Is it because of COVID? Nobody really, I hate to sound cold and I'm not being mean, but nobody's really gonna care why you didn't learn. They're just gonna know why you are not learning. And therefore, they're gonna wanna make sure, as a student, you have to take things seriously even now in these difficult times. That's really it. And then for staff, keep it up. Thank you for being flexible. We do appreciate all the work that you guys do.
That was some great insight from some of the Bailey educators and administration who had a chance to learn a lot from those videos. Next, what's up, bro? Next, we're going to dive into some of our own campus rules and make sure our wonderful Bailey students are intact with the expectation we have here at Bailey Middle School for the PBA.
When it comes to our hallway transitions, we are being very careful at Bailey. Each student will stand 6 feet apart while waiting to enter their classroom for our springway structure called threshold. At threshold, our teachers will give our students specific instructions as to what they are to do upon entry into the classroom. Students will then enter the classroom, but before they do, they will make sure to sanitize their hands. Here, our leadership team is modeling for you exactly what that entry should look like. Each student will sanitize, then go into the classroom and begin to follow the teacher's instructions. Again, safety is very important to us. Each student is wearing their mask upon entry, they are social distancing, and they're making sure to sanitize those hands. If a student attempts to enter the classroom without wearing a mask, they will be immediately redirected to put their mask on. It's very important that all students comply with our safety security measures. Upon exiting the class, the teacher will give students specific instructions. They will social distance 6 feet apart and transition silently to their next class. Each teacher will walk with their students as they go to their classes throughout the pod. Here you can see our team demonstrating what that will look like. Students, when they see their class, will line up at threshold for their next class, and a teacher will actively monitor to ensure students remain silent during transitions and that they are 6 feet apart wearing their masks. It's it's very important that we're monitored during our hallway transitions. Speaking of monitoring, each of our bathrooms will have a monitor making sure that only one student enters the restroom at a time. Students will show their pass to enter the restroom. They will use the restroom expeditiously. They'll make sure to follow our best Bailey behaviors in the restroom. And when they come out, the next student then can go into the restroom. Also, please note our water fountains are not in use at this time. Your students may bring bottled water just in case they get thirsty throughout the day.
Glad you're back, but unfortunately we've come to the end of this episode. We had a pleasure making this content for Bailey, and hopefully you guys will be tuned for another episode of this BTV, where your news is one click away.